What we've loved about you is you wear your heart on your sleeve. The last time you were here, you mentioned you were going through a little rebirth of your business and working on a huge project. I'm sure we're going to get to that. Relationship struggles with the wife, sexual issues, politics, crazy world news. Like all of this stuff has happened in between. And now during all that, you've released a box set, Warrior Core 4, We Live by a Code, Attack the Stack, The Door, Seek, Knock, Ask, Winning Impossible Games. Like just amazing stuff. But if that isn't enough, you now have these programs, right? Be the Man Challenge, Warrior Wealth, Warrior Week, Warrior Con, Warrior Book, which we love. Then the podcast. I mean, we have one and it's a lot of work. You've got five. I'm making excuses here, right? Date Your Wife, Be the Man, Warrior Week, Warrior Wealth, Warrior on Fire. And then the apps, like I found the apps on the App Store by accident. It wouldn't let me in. So I obviously need to do something here. I got to step up and pay for that. Warrior Pro, Warrior Book app, Warrior Chat. You've been busy with a lot of stuff. A lot of this has been created recently too. You drive a Lamborghini, but for work on your movement, you're as if you have nothing and you're fighting for your life. How in the hell do you do this, Garrett?
Hold up.
Well, so listen, I was just serving this morning with one of my friends, one of my best friends in San Clemente, and we haven't had much swell the past like 4 weeks, so we're getting a little desperate with the wave count idea. And so we all went out. There was like 60 people patted out. We just basically sat and talked and then pretended like we were catching some closeouts. Like we're sitting there and we were discussing this was one of the issues he was facing. He was like, I just can't figure out why I'm so up and down. He's like, can't figure out why I'm so up and down. Why am I feeling so, one day, like Tuesday I'm pumped and Wednesday I'm not pumped. Like I'm like the opposite of pumped. I'm like depressed and I don't want to do anything. And this guy's like successful. He's very successful at what he does, makes great money, takes home $80,000 to $90,000, $100,000 a month, which in some people's world, that's nothing. In other people's world, that's unimaginable, right? I don't know where you are. Like most of the insurance agents are not making more than 40, 60K a year. So I'm sure that sounds like a lot to some of you, but like he's sitting in what you would consider to be success financially, but there's just this up and down dilemma. And the dilemma is not about money. It's about the frame through which you see what you do. Like the frame itself looking like at the picture. What is the frame through which you see the purpose of your production, the purpose of what you're building, the purpose of what you're creating? And I just challenged him with a question this morning. I was like, well, just consider two things. One, your life's too loose, right? You got too many leaking holes everywhere. Like you're too loosey-goosey in a relationship with your significant relationship. You're too loosey-goosey over here. I'm not judging. I'm just saying my observation is my friend is like you have permission to be loose everywhere. And because you have permission to be loose, there's a lack of integrity with yourself. That's not about being right or wrong. There's a lack of integrity with you about what you're actually committed to. Because it's hard to be committed, right? A big thing in Southern California is open relationships. So people are in open relationship. I'm not in an open relationship. That people want to be in an open relationship, that's fantastic, right? To everybody in the Midwest that's sitting inside of the traditional insurance world, they're going, open what? What is this? Yeah, this basically means you can sleep with other people while you're still married. Makes no sense to me. My wife would be done with me. I'd be done with her. We wouldn't make it. That wouldn't work.
Right.
But there's a lot of people I know who are in relationships like that, and he happens to be in one of those relationships. And for me, I was like, listen, dude, like, what if you just got committed, like across the board? What if your frame on your life was just about commitment? And I was like, I'm not saying I'm perfectly committed all the time. I'm not. But what I am is radically more committed now than I was last week. And I'm radically more committed than I was a year ago. And I'm radically more committed than I was 10 years ago. And my commitment levels with myself continue to go up. So the first frame in looking at this is like the reason to produce or create has to come from some internal purpose that is beyond other people, which is crazy because you're like, wait a sec, business exists to serve other people. I'm only in this for the people. Bullshit, you're only in this for the people. You're in this for yourself, and that's okay to be in this for yourself. Right. The question becomes, how do I reframe myself to see that building something and continuing to build something and continuing to grow something and the commitment to continue to grow something, even when everybody else is contracting, the commitment to keep growing and expanding has to come from an internal storyline about you.
Mm-hmm.
And my storyline is really simple. Like, I don't build businesses to serve people. That's not my first agenda, right? I don't get involved in that. That's not like, that's secondary. My primary purpose in building and growing is to uncover the next version of myself. I don't try to make more money because of the simple fact. My primary reason is not to make more money. It's not to bring more revenue. It's not to make more profit. It's not to sell more books. It's not to sell more hair products. It's not to sell more supplements. It's not to sell more software. It's not to sell more whole life policies. That's not the purpose. But there's a version of me, for example, an insurance agent that takes home $100,000 a year in commissions, right? That insurance agent is one type of agent. And there's a version of you listen to this that takes home $100,000, right? Then there's a version of you that net takes home $1 million with a trailing commission for the next 7 years on that of $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right. That guy might not even hire the current version of you.
Yeah.